Nicole to start the roll.
Maybe Noreen.
Noreen, my apologies, Noreen.
No problem. Commissioner Bashand,
Here.
Commissioner Donalek,
Here.
Chairman Dunning,
Here.
Commissioner McCormick,
Here.
Commissioner Hool,
Here.
Commissioner Lucas,
Here.
Commissioner Kolakowski. Here. You're all set.
Okay.
So at this point, you do have to see
Okay.
one of somebody
So,
this evening.
let's see, so because we need one of the alternates to be seated for tonight's meeting, I'm going to make a request or a
No,
recommendation.
you just state who you're seating.
I'd like to state that Lucas Poole will be the seating commissioner tonight.
Okay.
And
So this is a continuation of the public hearing that was opened on April 4th, 2024 for the application. I can read this as a secretary.
read it
can
again?
Sure. Petition 002401, 311 Orchard Avenue, requesting a variance of section 4.4.1 to reduce the second front yard setback of a corner lot from 30 feet to 10 feet for the construction of a single family home. Applicant contact William DeMilla, owner Frederick Diakila. At the last meeting, there was a couple of questions that the board had for me to look into, and I have some of those responses. And if you'd like, I can
yes.
review those.
Please, Eric.
So the question was brought up, could the applicant potentially put a driveway out to Meadow Street through the right of way by the MDC pump station? And basically, it was discussed with the MDC and the town engineer. There are a couple of issues from both sides. First off, there are many mature trees right along the property line that are within the right of way that the applicant or someone would have to remove to facilitate a driveway, thereby reducing the buffer and taking down mature trees. The MDC would also want to review and approve any potential driveway plan for possible utility conflicts and setback conflicts with their infrastructure. The town engineer stated his preferences for the driveway to exit onto Orchard Avenue, as do the rest of the lots in that neighborhood. So that was that. I also had a question via email this morning from a commissioner that inquired about how long the corner lot regulation has been in the regulations. And in doing the research, there's references and calculations for corner lots in the very first iteration of the zoning regulations in August of 1930. So it's been in there since that time. They've changed it a little bit here and there, but it has been there and been part of the record and, you know, how it's viewed.
Okay.
So.
Thank you. Can I open it up for any other questions?
Any other questions? And then you can, you know,
Any other
to the
questions?
commissioners, and then I think the applicant has some more information he wants to present as well.
Questions, commissioners?
Yeah,
Mike?
10 feet is not a lot of space. And roughly the size of that, the length of that table right there. What my concern is for whoever the occupant's going to be, are they satisfied with that width? Totally satisfied. I mean, I would imagine they would want more, but
If I interject, if you're talking about the 10-foot side yard, that's typical of lots within the R12 zone.
10 feet.
10 feet on their side
Wow.
yard. So it's not, his request is to reduce the second front yard. And then basically, if it's approved, the lot will just take on the characteristics of a straight R12 lot. It's not a corner lot. They'll have 10 foot on the side, 35 in the front, 30 in the back.
Thank you.
If that was the question, that's
I'm fine.
okay.
Okay. Are there any questions from commissioners online? Okay, hearing
None.
none. What did he say? Deny?
Not at the moment, thank you.
No, not.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna just open it up to the applicants, if you would like to add some things.
I would, we had the meeting last month.
Right.
I was,
Could you introduce yourself? Just-
oh, sure.
Thank you.
Again, my name is William D'Amelia. I live at 32 Coach Lane here in town.
Okay, thank you.
So,
And I just, real quickly, I brought up his revised plot plan because I think a couple commissioners asked for some dimensions out to the edge of pavement off of the Meadow Street side, and he's provided those. Sorry, go ahead.
no, that's right, no. I mean, I was gonna start with something, but with, I'm sorry, Michael, I said, your concern was the 10-foot side yard would be on the right, also on the right side of property, but also, that's what I'm proposing to do on the left. If it was a corner lot, as I've been driving around for the last month, looking around other typical, as you can see, a typical 90-degree corner intersection, which this really isn't even an intersection. You really start looking at it, because if you could have a T intersection or a cross intersection, you have a 90-degree turn. And this is more like maybe 100 degrees, maybe 120 degrees from Orchard over to Meadow. So as you can see the dimension on the plot plan, yes, there's 10 feet of actual on paper of side yard that I'm proposing to do, but there's an additional 20 feet at the front of the house to Meadow Street, but towards the rear, after somebody suggested it, there's over 50 feet. The property keeps growing and growing. And like Eric had just said, all along Meadow Street is lined with trees. And I don't really want to take down those trees because it really makes this property look very private. So it doesn't appear to be 10 feet and that you're at the curb. There's a 10-foot, and then there's the street line from the street line to the curb line, which is much larger. If you look just primarily in that neighborhood, on corner lots, that looks this wide. If you look at your typical corner lot, it's much smaller looking than this, what I'm proposing to do. This will look a lot, I feel, nicer, what I'm proposing to do. Yes, it would be 10 feet from the house to the street, or actually it'd be more than 10 feet. It's 10 feet to the building line, but the house is not gonna go to the building line. So it may be like 12 feet from the actual house to the street line. And then there's an additional 20 feet. So we have well over 30 feet to the curb line. And that just increases as it goes towards the NDC station. I was trying to get back to what you were saying there, Mike.
Thank you.
So I had a whole little thing about the thing when I'm trying to do this property. I came across the property. It looks very nice. So I would like to read something. That's okay. So I said the property has been on, this property's been on the market. This is my little thing here, on the market for a very long time. If anybody's been driven by it, it looks pretty much abandoned. There's a large shed, a small barn, whatever you want to call it, on the property right now. And I'm trying to remove it and build a nice house that fits the neighborhood on the property now, and clean up the thing. Somebody asked last month, the trees, there will have to be a couple of trees to come down, because right where the house would be built, there are some large trees, but the trees along the street, along Meadow Street, I would love to keep those there. If I keep the driveway, I also added the driveway location on this latest plot plan that shows what's going on to Orchard Avenue. So that's where the driveway would be, on the right side of the house. The building that's existing there now is in very bad shape. There's a car frame out there. I'm trying to clean this all up to make this, and I don't know how long this has been decaying. I only came across this property since around Christmas time, middle of December, and it's been there a long time. I really don't know how long it's been there. I've had conversations with the town staff here, our town building here, the real estate agent for the property, the surveyor who created this plot plan, and all these different folks that tell me a lot of people have looked at this property to maybe build a house. But once they find out there's only 20 feet, that's maybe 20 feet that's buildable now, the way it stands, they walk away from it. I've gone to the step where I'm investing some time and money to have this survey plan done. Design the house, have a house design that would fit this property. And I think it's a very nice looking neighborhood and very friendly neighborhood looking. And I'm just trying to build a house that fits into the neighborhood. So, excuse me, I'm just trying to build something that looks nice and a thing on a property. It may be a lot to ask for this, my reduction from 30 feet down to 10. If it was a typical, going back to that thing, a typical square corner, I wouldn't even suggest this. And I really believe that I got a good chance of building a nice looking house on this property. I mean, the other thing that I've thought about this thing for a long time was, do I really need the variance to build a house on this house, on this lot? I can go to the town hall, the building department tomorrow and apply for a permit, not with the house I proposed, but I could build, or someone could build, it wouldn't be me, about a 19-foot, maybe less, narrow house without any kind of variance at all, just the way it is. And I don't think it would really look good to do something like that. So, and that's why no one else has done anything with it. I'm trying to improve the property from what it looks like right now. And that's basically why I'm here. Again, going back to the other corner lots, I think we were going on other lots just in the neighborhood. And I just want to reinforce the idea that this is not your typical corner, and as you come up Meadow and onto Orchard, Meadow Street doesn't keep going. It's just a flow of a road. There's not, it doesn't even really appear to be a corner lot. And if it wasn't a corner designated as a corner lot from nearly 100 years ago, I don't think we'd even have this discussion right now of this variance, but we do. And it is on paper considered a corner lot, and that's why I'm here. And am I forgetting anything? Oh,
Would the commission like me to bring up an aerial of the area again? Okay.
Commissioners, yes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So here's the lot that he's talking about right here. As discussed at the last meeting and what he reiterated tonight is the road comes down and it really isn't a true 90 degree. It just kind of kicks off this direction. And the road doesn't even continue to the east. That's unpaved to the east. So that is the condition. And if we go up the street, we can see most of the driveways obviously pop out onto Orchard Avenue. There are a couple of corner lots that do go off on the side street, but you have a complete side street. But by looking at in the area myself, most of the corner lots, do project out onto the main road that they front, not the other corner, but in some cases it does. So
like Eric just passed around on those lots that are the typical corners, the actual distance from curb line, not street line, from curb line to the house we're proposing to do is actually greater than the existing homes on these corner lots now. From the curb line to those buildings is far less distance from the curb line of Meadow to the side of the left side of the house that I'm proposing to build. And it just grows from there. And it's probably the only property in that whole neighborhood that's even a tree corner or
Yeah, there's,
There's none of the houses in that area have trees on a corner like this. So it'll appear doesn't even appear to be a corner zone. That's why he keep talking about that with the corner, but it just has a greater distance in actuality from curb to the building than any of the corners of this neighborhood. If you follow me on that.
Commissioner, do
Can
you
I
have a
ask Eric
question? Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, the house across the street there that's on that, not even a street.
this one,
Yeah, what is the setback there?
it's the same. They have the 35-foot front yard. It may have been built way back because obviously it looks like a little close on this side.
So it's not a full 30 feet?
No, does not, by aerial and by eye, no. It is not.
I actually used the town website and I was measuring it out.
And I don't know if,
More or less, too.
actually, oh, I'm sorry, this is a fence. It may be, this is the edge of the,
It looks like. it.
yeah, this is the edge of the garage.
Mhm.
And it's not even a paved road,
It's not
Right.
paved,
just a
correct.
paper road.
It's a paper
Right.
street.
Right.
And this one looks about the same, you know, they've had to hug this and that's, yeah.
Going through neighborhoods, if you could get over to, if you could find Ralph in Meadow. Ralph was, I mean, there's a house that was built in 08. The cursor's over it. No.
This, well, here's Ralph.
Ralph in Meadow, the one to the right, which would be to the east. I mean, this house is built in 08. And that one, which I have pictures of it right here. That one. I gotta believe there's a variance. I mean, I don't have a plot plan, but looking at.
The front
From-
corner, yeah, the front corner
I
looks
don't
close.
know how that's like.
Yeah, I don't know either. I do know that the ZBA denied a request for additional garage in the front,
Mhm.
maybe 3 or 4 years ago on this one.
Can you show that picture of that house on one of that?
Here, just pass these couple of.
Yeah, if you'd like to do that.
That too. See. So what extra I was doing was using the measuring tool on the town website, and it looks like it's maybe 30 feet from curb to the house. I mean, there's a series of jogs in this house. This is really, I pulled this off the town website. And I gotta believe originally, there's no way that house, that should be, if it's a corner lot, you have 40 feet, there's no way from the curb to the house. And it looks like it's maybe 30 feet from the curb to the house, when it should be, if it's a 30-foot and 10-foot street line, it should be 40 feet. I don't even, that one. So, I mean, you can see how this corner that the property that I'm looking at would be, I think, appear much nicer looking.
Judging by where the fence is, there's only about 3 feet of right of way
Mhm.
off between the street and the fence.
And I actually thought there should be more distance from the curb.
So I pulled up, I have the plot plan for that one you're talking about. It does have the dual front yard setbacks of 35 feet on Ralph, and it has a 20-foot building line on Meadow Street.
So, okay, 20 foot?
Yeah, 20 feet. So the fence does definitely project past that, no question. But the building is supposed to be by the plan, those little jogs are right at the 20-foot line, it looks like.
So, yeah, I don't know how they got a 20 foot, but they did.
And it may have been that it was an old lot that showed the building line.
Yeah,
It's possible.
right.
You guys are,
My point is on that property, it doesn't, I mean, this, I think you can see where it's not up there now, my plot plan that I propose, there's gonna be a greater distance, you know, of aesthetics, how this house will be positioned on the lot to the curb line, and the tree to look.
Everyone saw correct?
Okay, so we have a question, from one of the
Sure.
commissioners. Joanne?
Is it a proper time to ask the conservation question, or should I wait?
Conservation has nothing to do with ZBA. Nope. If this gets approved and he goes forward, he does understand that he will have to go before the Conservation Commission
Okay.
for a permit. But that has no bearing on this.
Any other
application.
questions?
Has there been any contact from any neighbors? I see the sign was moved, so that was helpful.
Nope. No one contacted me.
Excuse me, I'm one of the neighbors, I'd like to say something, chance, I watched the last meeting too, but I didn't.
Okay, yeah, there'll be public participation in just a couple minutes. All right, no problem.
I do have a question. This is Commissioner Dunning for the record. Eric, you were talking before about MDC wanted to know, if it did get approved about an exit on Orchard Avenue. Did I hear that correctly?
No, I said
Okay,
the MDC, if you approve something with a driveway out on the Meadow Street, they're gonna wanna review and approve any plan from the applicant to install that driveway.
all right.
So that
Okay.
that's another layer. And the other comment was the engineer's preference is for the driveway to exit out onto Orchard Avenue.
Okay.
And that's the town engineer.
Have the street reversed.
Did he give a reason for that?
He just said it matched more the neighborhood and you have kind of what the applicant's talking about is if you have less of an apron out in the right of way. You usually have the 10 to 12 feet apron if it projects out to Orchard Avenue versus, possibly 20, 25, 30 feet going out to Meadow Street because it's that long run through the right of way.
So it'd be more expensive.
Well, it's more expensive, but there's more potential liability for the town with more pavement out in that
The
right of
town
way.
doesn't replace aprons.
No, but it's in the
No.
right of way, and if something is damaged, whatever, with plows, stuff like that, tree falls, who knows? So there's that. Commissioner Hool has his hand raised online.
Okay. Commissioner Hill?
Thank you. Yes, this is Commissioner Hool. I was just wondering, so I know in the aerial, and you kind of pointed out, Eric, that there's like that stretch where you would think another arm would be for Meadow Street. Was there never a road connecting the two Meadow Streets together in that path? Not even at any point?
Correct. It was, over time, it's never been constructed for whatever reason. I
So this
don't
just
know
has
the
to be
answer.
like the smallest portion of a street like that we have in Newington, this Meadow Street portion right here. But it's very small, right?
Yeah, it is. Yes, it just goes from Orchard Avenue down to Bridle Path. If I can just switch.
The way that's cleared, it looks like it might have been a road at one time and then they blocked it.
Right,
Here's Meadow Street right now. This is it, as far as it goes. This could have been active in the past. I don't know. I think the town blocks it so people don't drive through it because I think this portion up to Field, I think you can drive on it. I
Yeah.
think from Field to Orchard, I don't think you can.
Oh, yeah. I think I know exactly where that is.
You
So
can
I'm
kind of
just
see
wondering-
there is some kind of pavement. I don't even know if it's real pavement or just old pavement, but this portion doesn't appear to be as wide as a typical town road, so it's probably not built to any kind of town standard, and I do not know who constructed it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was just wondering if when it was given that distinction as being a corner, R12 lot that it, they were taking into consideration that might have been an active road, but if it was never an active road, it just seems really weird that this house would even be designated as a corner lot.
On the original subdivision plan, which I brought up last month, I can probably find it again if you like. The original intent was for Meadow Street to go straight through here. And
Okay.
over time, it just never did.
Okay, that's kind of what I was getting at. Thank you, Eric, for that clarification.
Mhm.
Just want to add that you don't need a four-way intersection to have a corner lot.
No.
Any other questions from commissioners?
No.
Commissioners online, any questions, comments?
So now you would call for public participation from anybody speaking in for or against the application.
I'd like to open it up for public participation. Please come forward.
Bill, you can go ahead and take your seat again back there.
And could you state your name for the
My name's
record?
Mark Sear. I'm the owner. I'm gonna show you. See where this pond is? Behind the lot. I own that piece, and I own some other stuff here. And I'm not against these folks at all building a house. Actually, I think what they're doing for the lot. They're maximizing the lot. I think the driveway is in the right place. I spent a lot of time there. I think it's set up as well. I know this individual has a lot of experience, but I'm not for or against or trying to tell you guys approve it or not approve it. My only concern is where's the water gonna go?
Hmm.
I was provided from the building department and everything. I see no elevations. I don't know any foundation. And that's probably to come, you know.
Are you worried that more water would go towards your
Yeah.
pond?
Yeah, swales, drainage, berms, something along that line. I don't want to add any more water than I already have.
Right.
Last meeting, you made a mention with the MDC owns that road down there. I own the road. They have a right of way.
Mhm.
I've seen in years past, I've owned the larger pieces, 2013, water flowing almost all the way up to the gate. You know, it floods.
I'm surprised it doesn't flood more back there.
I don't want to add any more water if we can help us. So my question is what will you do to help me, you know, swale the water or put drainage or contain the gutters, send them elsewhere instead of downhill towards. That's my only concern.
What the design something.
Yeah, I know, I'm kind of throwing you off here, right?
I mean.
It's more of an issue for wetlands anyway.
Yeah, it is. And I think this. is
I mean,
gonna go to
I know,
wetlands.
I
Thought you said last time.
What's
Did
that?
he say
Yeah,
something about it had to go to
Oh,
wetlands?
yeah.
If I may, the drainage aspect really doesn't have anything to do with the ZBA request. What I can say is any plot plan that he submits is gonna be reviewed and approved by the town engineer. And it's also gonna have to go through the Wetlands Commission. So they're gonna look at those things. You know,
I'm interested in seeing that.
right, and you know, if it gets approved and there's, you know, like I said, he would have to go before wetlands. You could come to those hearings as well. He is gonna have to provide a plan that's gonna show grading, drainage, where the water's gonna go, stuff like that.
Through wetlands.
That'll come through wetlands first, and even after that gets approved, a plot plan is still gonna have to get reviewed and approved by the town engineer before construction starts, before building permits are
So
issued.
I'm kind of at the wrong meeting.
You're
I mean,
early.
you've said your piece. I mean, the
Yeah.
drainage stuff really doesn't have any bearing on the ZBA request.
You know, I researched it. The house is more up front and it does swale towards meadow some. But, you know, once you cut trees, add roofs, put gutters, then you create more water.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's my only concern.
Is there any stormwater infrastructure on that little section of meadow? I doubt it, but
You guys might know a little better just because I'm just trying to, this is a new GIS, so bear with me a little bit. I'm just trying to see what's, I don't know where.
I've driven down there a few times. I didn't notice it, but I wasn't specifically looking either.
Let me look at.
You already know?
There may be one next to the MDC, you know, the electrical infrastructure next to the block. There might be one there.
I'll find out in 1 second, 'cause I'll bring up the old GIS, which I like better.
And looking at the lot, I don't think it's gonna be real difficult to not send the water towards me. I don't think so. Yeah.
Alright, so we do have some drainage down that area. So if we look. There's a drainage, so there's a basin here, and this stuff goes through into Bridle Path. And then it goes out into the big wetland over here.
So we'd have to get a lateral if you wanted to
So,
steer it away from it.
So the town
Again,
engi-
we're way off course with this.
right, so the town engineer may require a drainage agreement to tie into this system to move your roof leader water and stuff into that structure.
Although allow that special permit or something.
So the town engineer reviews it and they,
Okay, good.
and a drainage agreement would
Okay,
be required to tap into a town infrastructure. So. If that helps, but again, that really has nothing to do with what we're talking about as far as.
Commissioner,
So if this is approved, it would be approved with conditions, correct?
Typically, you don't add conditions. The ZBA doesn't. It's going to be, you approve the request for the variance. Up to change his setbacks. And then that would get filed on the land records, and then he would move forward with developing his plot plan based on your approval of whatever those setbacks are. And if I may, real quick.
So this in of itself is strictly for the variance.
This is for the variance. That's all the ZBA is for. You guys, because he's trying to vary the
What-
zoning regulations,
We're hearing about water concerns. No,
which don't bear on this.
I understand that.
Okay.
But based on the conversation, there's another step.
And he's aware that, yes,
I mean, that has nothing to do with us at this point.
correct.
Right, our
Again,
only role is to either approve or not approve. And
Correct.
If we approve,
Okay.
then it goes to the next commission.
then he would, before, if this gets approved, then he's gonna have to develop this plot plan to show the grading, the drainage and everything else, and then he would apply to wetlands. That's a process. If he gets through that process, then that's approved, then he can start pulling his building permits and moving forward.
Yes.
I just wondered, are we in our official work session now, or is this still?
You're still in the public hearing portion,
Okay.
you haven't really moved over.
No, we haven't.
I mean, once you've heard everything, you should go to your work session, we have a couple other things, but yes.
Did you have anything else to add, sir?
I found out about the next level.
I mean,
What we did.
you can check with the town. You can check with the town.
Yeah, all our meetings, any land use application,
Like call building department like. I did
you can call the
before.
building department, you can look online at the town planner, we list all applications we get for wetlands, any of those, they get posted up there. And when the next,
And they're in the
Meeting
rare
is-
reminder too, I think.
Like I said, I'm not against these folks who build a house whatsoever.
Okay. Did we need to get this gentleman's address for the record? No, it doesn't matter.
if he wants to provide it, that's fine, some people
Okay.
choose not
I
to.
don't
You can
think I
ask him
did
for it,
not.
if he doesn't do it, that's fine.
No, I just know that the previous commissioner always asked for it, and so I just didn't know. if that
Typically,
was-
they ask for the name and address.
Newington is 15 Bridle Path, but it's not the home. I
The
live in-
recorder's, right, the recorder's taking it
Okay.
online. She's online taking that information. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other public comments? Anyone online? Eric?
Let's see, there's no one online that has their hand raised.
Okay, I guess we will close that session and open it up for discussion.
So
Commissioners?
if you're comfortable, you can close the public hearing.
I
You
think
may
so,
wanna-
yes. We will close the public hearing.
Then you should have a motion and do the formal thing to close the public hearing and
Can I
move
get a
forward.
motion? Can I get a motion?
Motion to close the public hearing by Commissioner Lucas.
I'll
Thank you.
second it,
Second.
Prashant.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right,
So now we'll open it up for.
so now you can,
The business portion, right?
I can start if you'd like.
Sure, I was just making sure Eric is all set.
go ahead.
Okay,
Did you have
Um,
something?
no, I just wanted to make sure Eric was all set.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Still have a lot of concerns for it. The positives in the applicant's favor is that extra buffer that he has, as he's pointed out. I don't agree that it's more than other corners because it's really down to 30 feet. If we got 20 feet from the curb to the property line and then another 10 feet to the house, so we're just at 30 feet and most houses have some right-of-way space between the curb and the property line, so it'd be more than 30 feet. I'm only comfortable approving it with a condition that not to go 20 feet, but 15, and I think that's very liberal. Because we're basically taking an entire section of our lot rules and tossing it out. That extra 20 feet is the buffer for corner lots, and it's still a corner lot, just it has a lot going for it where we could grant this extra space, but that's just my opinion. That's the only way I'd vote yes, if there's a condition that it's not more than 15 feet. And that corner that
Not-
they,
Yes, go ahead.
yeah, so we'd be cutting it in half from 30 feet to 50.
So you would definitely say not 10.
Not,
If you-
not in my, that's just me.
Just wanted to be
Yeah.
clear, right?
Yeah.
Any
So-
other,
So that, there would have to be a condition for that. And then also that drawing that's shown there, that's kind of shows that there's no corner of the house at that closest point. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, that's not in stone because the building line is different. So they could push that house right to the corner there. And it's gonna be that much closer looking when you come around the corner. So I don't know if that should be a condition or not, but, the setback is my concern.
commissioners?
No, do you have a question?
No.
Yeah,
I
Mike.
was thinking the same as you, 15 feet. I don't know how much that would affect it. But
Asking us.
No, there's no-
The
there's
public
no back
hearing's
and forth.
closed, there's
Yeah.
no back and forth
Yeah.
now.
okay,
I think we talked about it last month, meeting, we talked about 15 feet would be something to consider.
And I know it's a difficulty for the builder. He said it
Right.
himself, so.
I think that
I'll
was
just
the conversation that
use
we
his
had
own
last
words.
month, that it might be a challenge. Joanne, did you have any questions or comments? You're all set?
Yeah, I think it's fair anyways to put that kind of condition on it, just as a way to make sure that I'm honestly not entirely sure.
Most people ask us for a very minimal percentage of whatever the setback is, 2 feet, 3 feet. We've never seen it where the entire section is taken out.
Yeah, that seems like a bit much.
But I do agree, he's got so much going for him that we could go that much. That's still a lot. No one's called, no one's complained, no one's shown any
Right.
concerns.
And it
It's got
sounds like,
50 feet over there at that other end, but up on that front corner, it's, still.
and it sounds like, from the public participation that you're supporting the building of a property. Okay,
I don't know that.
well, we're not,
Again,
no,
yeah, again,
I'm just
no back
saying
and
that
forth.
it seems like there's support for, it, but I tend to lean with you on the 15 feet. I think we're cutting it close when we go to 10. So I'd be uncomfortable with that.
And yeah, that'd be really
Um,
close.
You have some commissioners online, I don't know if they have anything to
Yes,
say.
let me just check with the
Yeah.
commissioners online. Did you have a comment or question or want to add to this discussion?
Yeah, if I could, this is Commissioner Hool. For the
Yes.
record, I just wanted to clarify, so if we were, are we able to approve an application with a condition, Eric? And what does that look like?
Well, typically you don't. It has been done on rare occasion in the past. You can approve something less than what he asked for of 15 feet. And that's your approval, if that's the way you choose to go. So you can just vote on it that way if that's the way that you guys are leaning. And it's not a condition, that's what it is.
Correct.
And
Okay.
so if you were to approve it at 15 feet and this applicant chooses not to move forward, that will be in place for anybody else in the future.
Just
Stay
for
with
that-
the process.
just for that
Somebody else
property
will
or
work with
for-
that 15 foot,
Yes,
Just for that specific property though.
Yeah,
for that
Yes.
specific property only.
Gotcha.
But basically,
You're locking in 15
you'd be
feet.
locking it in on that side. And basically, this gentleman has gone through the process and potentially approved it for somebody else,
Right.
maybe. If that's the way you choose to go.
Okay, I see, thank you.
Thank you, Lucas. Is there, the other commissioner, have a question or want to add to this discussion?
He doesn't have his hand raised,
Okay.
still muted.
Yeah. Okay, so, yes, John?
I just wanted to say that I'm not trying to influence any other commissioners, but my vote would be no if the condition wasn't there. So
Right. Okay.
I don't think that's better.
Right.
But there may be enough others that would vote yes. So I'm not sure, what you want to do, what the consensus is.
So
It
I
sounds
think
like
we need to
there is,
get a
but
consensus, so that we can get a motion on the floor. So it's between leaving the petition as is or with the condition of it being 15 feet. Changing it to a petition offering 15 feet,
my opinion.
just a setback.
I agree with him. I think that we should put the condition on in order to make it 15 feet rather than 10. This is Commissioner Lucas for the record.
And so this would be 15 feet from this point forward for any, person who would occupy that property.
Yes.
Understood?
Understood, I agree.
Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Can we close the session?
Yeah, you don't need to really close it. You'll
Okay.
just have to make a motion to do that.
Yeah. You want to make a motion?
I don't have the paper in front of me, but I would just make the motion to accept the application with,
I mean, I have something I use on my vote sheet. I can read it if you guys
Okay.
like it.
Please,
You
Everett.
can go move forward with it, but somebody else would have to read it so you can make your motion and second it, because I'm not part of the board. So I have moved to approve petition 002401 311 Orchard Avenue for a variance of section 4.4.1 to reduce the second front yard setback of a corner lot from 30 feet to 15 feet for construction of a single family home. Applicant and contact William DeMilla, owner Frederick Diakila. So is that what you were thinking of?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yes.
Okay, I can give this to Joanne to read. Actually, I need this paper. Just read that portion. Get the second. Yes. Resolution, move this.
Okay, motion by second.
Don't worry about that part, just-
Resolution, move to approve petition 00-24-01, 311 Orchard Avenue for variance of section 4.4.1 to reduce the second front yard setback of a corner lot from 30 feet to 15 feet, construction of a single family home. Applicant contact William DeMilla, owner Frederick Diakila.
That's it. And then you need somebody to second it, if that's what you choose.
I second it. Sharon Dunning,
Okay,
second.
and then you guys should just do.
All in favor?
You should do a roll call. vote.
Roll call,
Yes, have Noreen do it.
and state your name. I guess she'll call our names and
Commissioner Bashand,
yes.
Commissioner Donald,
Yes.
Chairman Dunning,
yes.
Commissioner McCormick,
Yes,
Commissioner Huell,
Yes.
Commissioner Lucas,
That's all you need, because they're not seated, the other
Yeah.
two
Okay.
gentlemen.
Thank you, Noreen.
That was
You're
approved,
welcome.
5-0. So there you are. You'll get a certificate in the mail, recorded on the land records. You can call me, you can discuss it. Okay. You're good?
Have a good day.
Do we have anything else on our agenda?
Next item is minutes from the
Okay, I was
previous
gonna
meeting.
say the minutes. Okay, next item on the agenda is the minutes from the previous meeting. Did everybody have a chance to review them?
Yes.
Any edits?
None.
Okay, can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
Make a motion to accept the minutes from April 4th, 2024.
Seconded.
So John Bashan
Made the
Yep.
motion.
made the motion and Michael Donalick second.
Yep,
Thank you.
you still need a vote, just you can do.
Now, all in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, It's
Aye.
unanimous and aye.
Okay.
Any opposed? Minutes to pass.
Communications and reports. I really don't have anything to report. I do expect an application as well next month. I do have it in. I think they're just finalizing some other paperwork, and it may be large and convoluted. We'll see how this goes.
A large, what'd you say that again? I'm sorry.
Large and convoluted.
Application,
Complicated.
residential or commercial?
Commercial, and it's actually in the industrial area.
Okay,
Hmm.
so at this time, there is no reports for
No
tonight?
other, no other
No other
reports?
communications? Okay, and next on the agenda, new business, there is none?
No. Old
And then
business,
old business,
we took care of that.
that's done. And so can I get an emotion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Lucas.
Second by John Bashan.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. Oh, well,
Take a vote.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned.
Got to bang the
Thank you so
gavel to make it
much.
official.
That's right, thank you.
There you go.
Have a great night,
Okay,
everybody. Thank you.
you.